Hello and welcome back to Caf Anime. My name is Cody, and this week I am greeted and have the pleasure of talking with Wheezy, Jess, and Ethan again.
Hello.
So this week I'm kind of on the not very creative side of coffee, so I just have Dunkin' Donuts, which when I went to work this morning, it was all Dunkin' Donuts, and I had like a K-pod of Dunkin' Donuts left with some like French vanilla, because I love French vanilla. What are you guys drinking tonight?
We've got some awesome Archer's Farm from Target.
It's Target. It's Target.
With what kind of creamer do we have in it?
It's Italian sweet cream.
Italian sweet cream.
It's bizarre because when I'm out and about, I don't drink creamer. Like if I'm in a restaurant, I don't put creamer in my
Nobody
coffee.
drinks creamer.
Sometimes I drink it.
I know somebody who does.
I do.
There we go. Awesome. What do you got, Ethan?
And I've got some Arnold Palmer from Arizona.
Nice. Got some sweet tea and lemonade. That's not bad. That's probably one of my favorite iced teas. Arnold Palmer is just fantastic. So last week was our very first episode of Caf Anime. I really enjoyed it. People really seemed to enjoy it. I saw some really good numbers. So this week, it's going to be a lot of, same old, same old. We're going to go over the schedule for this week on Funimation. I actually got to watch a bunch of the anime that we talked about last week. One of the ones I was kind of excited to watch was Restaurant to Another World. That one was just... The way I can describe it is if you were to play D&D based in a restaurant. Because it opens up with all these creatures kind of coming to eat food, and so they're arguing, like all these like really buff, like there's a lion person and like an old man with like who's just ripped, and they're arguing over what tastes better with white rice. And it gets to the point where the guy running the restaurant says, if you don't stop, I'm not going to cook for you. And they like lose their mind. They're like, oh, so it was just kind of odd. But overall, a phenomenal show. I also got to take a look at 18 If. I watched the first episode of that, which kind of reminded me of like if you were to take a more like psychedelic Alice in Wonderland and then mixed it with a Japanese anime.
Which one was that one?
18F.
18If, yeah. It was really good, don't get me wrong, but like this kid is trapped in the dream world, and with the help of, I believe it was a psychiatrist or psychologist, they need to wake up the witch that's causing all this commotion or like trapping people, and it's just bizarre. Like they kind of have to go battle against her, but in doing so, they have to basically try to wake her up out of the like Sleeping Beauty curse. It was really, really interesting. What did you guys watch this week?
I tortured Ethan with Black Blood Brothers.
I watched like half an episode of it because I came in halfway through. It was quite confusing.
Nice. What's that about? I haven't seen that one.
Black Blood Brothers is about a vampire hierarchy and how they get along with humans, if they get along with humans. But there's Black Bloods, which are the vampires, and Blue Bloods, which are the humans, and they coexist in certain areas fine.
Interesting.
But it starts out with Old Bloods, and then the New Bloods are called. I can't remember the name. Ethan, what were the New Bloods being called? Kulon Children.
Yes.
Yeah.
I was trying to. I knew it started with a K.
And it's a little different vampire lore. Like, my normal vampire lore is, vampire bites you, you become a vampire. But this one is the only way to actually become a vampire is to drink the vampire's blood.
Interesting.
And then Kulon Children.
Instead of having the vampire drain you?
Yeah, they bite into you, and then you drink their blood, and then you become a vampire. But you share this bond. So at that point, you're bloodkin. So that's how they create families.
Think a double blood transfusion.
Kulon Children can just bite and breed these more zombie-like vampires that just kind of do their bidding. They're not free.
Weird.
So that's kind of weird. But I've only gotten about 5 episodes in, so I haven't gotten very far.
That reminds me of a non anime show. It's on the CW. I saw ads for it a lot. But it was the How to Be a Vampire on CW, or at least you can watch it on CW The Seed, not a sponsor. The premise, it's a musical for one, so that kind of weirded me out. But
vampire musical.
Yeah, there's at least two shows that I know of on the CW Seed app that are musicals. One is they have it's oh, we're gonna start a band. This one, it's about vampires, and Kevin, I believe, is the name of the main character. I watched one episode and hated it. Kevin is a college student who goes to a party. I guess a vampire bites him, but in self-defense, he bites the vampire and falls out of a window, dies, come back as a vampire. But because he's not beautiful, and big air quotes there, he's not beautiful, they're like, oh, he's not attractive, so we don't want him here. He's, it was just this really weird, oh, we're beautiful, he's super ugly, that's an issue. That's the main issue they're having, is because he's ugly. And I was like, I don't like this at all. How they turned him into, because I guess if he would have just fed on Kevin and Kevin didn't ingest his blood, he would have died. But because Kevin bit him back in the hand, there's a whole he comes in, he's like, now we're beautiful. Ugh. He's just right there. And Kevin's like, what? And I don't know. I think if it had gone down a different path where it wasn't oh, you're ugly, we don't like you, it may have come out a little better. Anyway, so let's hop into the schedule for this week for Funimation. So Sunday, 7/23, the night we're recording this, we're looking at Kato, The Right Answer, episode 12, premieres 8 p.m. An hour later, Attack on Titan, episode 37. Now these are all simuldubs. And so these are the English versions. So the Japanese version's probably been out for at least a couple days, or at least a day. Because I know some of them don't come out the same time as the Japanese premiere. It might take a day or so. Then we have Seven Mortal Sins, episode 11 at 9:30. Which looks really interesting. I think Jesse and I were talking about it earlier, and the devil is female in this.
Lucifer is female.
Sorry.
There's a demon or devil king also there, and that one's, they didn't give a gender. I'm not sure if it's going to be male or female. But there is a demon king or the devil. But Lucifer is female.
At least, at least from the thumbnail they give you, you can definitely set the tone for how the show is, where it's just a bunch of very buxom, bright-haired women. So, most likely TVMA.
Yep.
Yep.
It is.
Not
very
for
much,
me.
hey, That one's
Ethan, you're
watch
out.
with-
Sorry, bud.
we're watching with the
that.
parents.
You can have as much fun as you want with that one.
Yeah.
Monday, we've got Soyuki Reload Blast, Episode 1. That one is premiering Monday. That one's... the thumbnail is kind of boring. So you don't really get to see a whole lot about that.
The description's kind of boring, too.
Oh, hold on a second.
At last, they've reached the end of their long and treacherous journey. The Sanzo party finally arrives in India, a land where the anomalies influence runs rampant. The battle that lie ahead promise more bloodshed and danger, but Sanzo, Goku, Goijo,
Yeah.
Goijo,
Yes, spell.
and Hokai must rise to save the world and stop the resurrection of the Ox Demon King. Goemon, no matter the cost. I wonder if this is like a continuation and like this is the like series after, because that sounds like there's a lot of setup there that we don't have.
Yeah. It does sound like there's a lot going on.
Especially when it's like they finally arrived, and I'm like, what does that even mean?
Yeah. Is this season 2? What's going on? Clockwork Planet, episode 12, and Brave Witches, episode 12. Which, those two kind of go along the same way as Reload Blast. There is it kind of sets the tone, at least for me. I look at the sorry. I look at the thumbnail as kind of how it's going to set the mood. So, like, think of Seven Mortal Sins. That one kind of sets how that show is going to be. Whereas, you know, Clockwork Planet is just people standing there. And Brave Witches, everyone's kind of in a loud action pose pointing at things. Tuesday, 7:25, episode 3 through 12 of And You Thought There Is Never a Girl Online. The thumbnail for this one reminds me of Cardcaptor Sakura, because she's got the same, like, fairy wand with the wings on the edge, and also a pink dress. Episode 13 through 14 of Go Sick.
Sorry.
Fine. The heroic legend of Arslan. Regalia, the Three Sacred Stars, and then Sakura Quest, which I actually watched the first episode of that. It was actually a pretty interesting show. The main character, I believe, is Sakura. She is a struggling, like, college student in Japan, trying to get a job. Keeps getting turned down. Apparently, her and her friend, who had minor success at a modeling gig, get a call saying, hey, we've got this thing. We're going to send you out there. We're going to pay for everything. Just sign the paperwork. You're good. She gets there, thinks it's like a one-day thing. Finds out it's a year-long commitment to be this, like, town spokesperson as, like, the town queen. And it's a town setup based around the myth of the, what was it? Shoot. The Chupacabra. It was like the Japanese Chupacabra. And so they're trying to build hype and save the town kind of thing. And it seems like one of those, like, kind of cutesy comedies that doesn't have a whole lot of action, which is okay for me because I'm not a huge, like, action-oriented anime person.
Yeah, I'm pretty heavy into the comedy.
That's where I'm different. I watch Bleach and Full Metal Alchemist, so those are heavily action-packed.
And those are both phenomenal. I think the most action-y one that I ever watched was Trigun and Cowboy Bebop. Those are the two that, like, still hold a very high regard for me as, like, just perfect, at least in my heart.
Yeah, I've seen Trigun. I have not seen Cowboy Bebop though.
All right. Wheezy, Jess, you failed as parents. He has to watch Cowboy Bebop now.
I don't know that I can.
Got
find
it.
Where?
Well, I'm sure it's on. It's on.
I
bet you it's on. It's
I've
gotta
got
be on
a
Hulu.
website that I can probably watch it on, Dad.
Yeah, it's everywhere. I think at one time, I think Netflix had it for a brief moment. It's
Yeah,
not,
Netflix did have it. Oh,
It's-
there it is.
it's not a very long series, thankfully, so you can get through it pretty quick. Jump back in Wednesday, Restaurant to Another World. We talked about that. Episode 2 should be out. I believe episode 1 has already been out, but it does say episode 1 and 2. And then Alice in Zoroku, episode 12.
Very cool.
I'm interested in that. That just looks cool.
What are you watching? What are you looking at?
The Alice and Zoroku.
Yeah. Just reading the description on that sounds hilarious.
Yeah. I mean, what can go wrong when you have a little girl that can make anything materialize that she imagines? Nothing
Oh
can
god,
go
it's like
wrong.
Kill La Kill if she doesn't become a god.
That's terrifying. As somebody like her parental guides or guardians, I'd be instantly terrified. Just putting that out there. I can't pronounce that. Tsukigakiri? Kirie? Episode 12. This is Thursday. My apologies. Thursday. Then we've got Sugu Momo, which I've watched almost all of the episodes. That's probably the most recent, like, action-y, like, comedy, which is just wildly perverted, but amazing all at the same time. The thumbnail, it just shows bare ass, and so that sets everything there.
Is that why you wanted me to put it on the queue?
No, he was saying it was really good.
Yeah.
Okay, so I saw the butt. Yeah, sure. That's why I wanted it on our queue.
It's a natural thing, Wheezy. If people grow up, and then Genka Bancho Atomi, Girl Beats Boys, episode 12. Friday we've got.
Wait, what?
That one reminds me a lot. It seems like a lot of like Oran Host Club kind of thing.
No, that's the
Is that
one
the other
where.
one?
No, that's the one where she ends up in an all boys school, but she has to pretend to be a
That's
boy,
right.
so she's
That's
more
right.
of a cross dresser
Yeah.
this whole entire time. But none of the boys know that she's a girl except one.
That's right.
So she ends up with like this whole entire gang thing of guys that think that she's a guy, but she's a girl.
Dang.
Does that make sense?
I don't know. It sounds hysterical to me.
That does sound. It's kind of like almost like a swap there, because you have a lot of, like, if a guy has to be, or guy portrays a girl, is very, like, weak and like, oh, tra-la-la, I'm a lady. Whereas that sounds like it's just the complete opposite, where she's already just very powerful, but then is portraying a male figure and kicking ass at it. Friday we've got 18 If, episode 4, and then also New Game, episode 7 through 12. So I feel like they're just throwing all of the episodes up as much as they can in preparation for the next season. Saturday we've got My Hero Academia, episode 28, Dragon Ball Super, and One Piece episode 799.
Good lord, that hurts.
One Piece, you need to stop.
I think we talked about this last time, but like One Piece has got like over 800 episodes.
Ugh.
How many times can you put this poor guy in trouble and make him get out of it? Like,
With Luffy, you
evidently
never
over
know,
100
to be honest.
times, but
Yeah, I think as of Wikipedia, it's 800. So I'm sure we're about to hit the probably the season finale of at least this One Piece. Who knows? I mean, when you have such a, like, you know, I don't know. It's just so odd. And then, yeah, I think that actually covers it for this week. The one thing is, Attack on Titan doesn't premiere next Sunday. So I think maybe that is coming to an end, or they just haven't released it. Well, that's weird. So Attack on Titan was on Sunday. Now, if I look like in the future a little bit on the Funimation Schedule website, the next episode doesn't come out until mid-August, which is kind of weird.
That is weird.
That probably means like a season 3 is coming out. Maybe.
Woo.
Of course, you're happy about that, Mother.
No, I'm looking at something else. Sorry.
Oh.
Quit looking that far ahead. Scroll back up.
I'm sorry.
Sorry, I don't mean to interrupt you here real quick. That Sayuki Reload Blast is a follow-up to like a few other shows before it.
Oh my gosh, there's like a lot of them.
Really?
So that first episode, the description why it wasn't like making a whole lot of sense, because there's some stuff before that. There's Sayuki Reload, Sayuki Gunlock. There's a couple of OAVs.
Interesting.
That are in as well. So there's a few shows beforehand.
Yeah, I mean it's so weird. You know, I mean, I guess a lot of these shows have probably been going on for so long, or at least just have been, you know, have had continuations, or I don't know. It's an interesting like thing to like, oh yeah, this is a continuation. It's completely new for us, but there's probably somebody who has been watching and waiting for this kind of thing for a long time now. I don't know. It's kind of cool. I'm all for it. I'm just kind of going through what's new. Oh, the Royal Tutor. That released a couple days ago. I know you guys, we talked a little bit, had been watching that one.
Yeah, Ethan and I are about 4 episodes in, and Eric is 1 episode in.
Sorry.
At least he's an episode in and hasn't watched, like, rather than haven't watched it at all.
He is an episode in. It's really funny so far. It's a royal tutor is usually from a royalty bloodline of some type, and this guy isn't. So he's been brought in because all the other prince's tutors have run away, like literally screaming from these guys. So this guy comes in, and he's like, he looks like he's 8 or 9. We really don't know what his age is. We just know what he looks like, and he doesn't say what his age is. He just says he's an adult. Whatever that means.
And gets really mad when you call him short or a kid.
Yeah.
I'm an adult.
Like You're not an adult.
No.
You are a child trapped in a man's body.
Although you ask people at work, I don't look like a man.
I always say I have 3 children. One of them just happens to be older than me and running away.
Oh, man. To anybody listening, my audio on my side has been up and down, so I do apologize for that if it has been freaking out at all. I know when I recorded everything a little bit earlier just to test it out, everything sounded fine. The other part is it just sounds like it's getting really loud, and my AC just kicked on, so I do apologize if there's a lot of background noise. What do you think would be probably the most well-known anime out there, if you had to guess? Or, like, in your personal opinion, what do you think would be one of the most popular?
I mean, if you talk about all of them all together, Probably the most known are going to be Dragon Ball and Pokemon, to be honest.
I'd also add
whether they watch them or not, everyone knows them.
Right.
Yeah, I mean, it definitely seems like there's the three big ones.
Yeah.
So I went to Wikipedia, and there is an anime manga portal. First one, Pokemon.
Makes sense.
I mean, Pokemon's been around since the mid-90s, and is just continuously releasing more and more content. I know Pokemon Go just hit a kind of a milestone because they released all the legendary Pokemon.
Yep, they're doing legendary raids now.
Yeah, we have a friend, a work friend, who already caught Lugia.
Oh.
And he almost Tora.
Oh.
And I think he actually got almost. There wasn't enough people, but Articuno. So there's definitely like just a huge franchise for a lot of that stuff. I still play here and there. I haven't played in a little bit, but it's one of those. There's a gnat flying all around me.
Those are the worst.
Let's see. Dragon Ball. Alright, Dragon Ball. That would be the other one I think people would know a lot. Let's see. So the Dragon Ball manga was actually back in 1984 and kept going until the 95. The anime started in 1986 and went to 1989. Dragon Ball Z took right over from that and ran till 96. Dragon Ball GT was 1996.
Yeah.
That sounds about right.
I think that's cool. And I think Xenoverse follows that, doesn't it?
Dragon Ball Super. It doesn't have Xenoverse on here.
Oh, okay.
Dragon Ball Super is 2015, and that's just a redo of the Dragon Ball Z from what I remember. It was kind of like a new render to all of it.
It's like Dragon Ball Z remastered.
Pretty much. At least from everything that I remember. Let's see. Ongoing Japanese anime television series produced by Tao Animation. The beginning aired July 5th, 2015. Its overall plot outline is written by Dragon Ball franchise. Yeah, I'm pretty sure it's just a redo. Maybe not. Dragon Ball Super, it looks like it takes place... Okay, it's 4 years after they beat Majin Buu. Because I could have swore it... Or maybe it's the true next arc. Because I know when... the creator of Dragon Ball Z came out, or Dragon Ball, he said GT was more just fan service, and none of it actually mattered. So he just, completely took all that out of there. Yeah, so he was all just about fan service. I could have swore Dragon Ball Super was just a redo. Not so much a redo, but just kind of a culmination and rehashing of it to kind of get it back ready to go. Maybe they did that with Dragon Ball Z and just kind of re-released it.
It probably was, and then they kind of realized, wait, we could probably make a couple more plot devices out of this.
Right. No, that was Dragon Ball Kai.
That's right.
In February 2009, announced to begin broadcasting a revised version of Dragon Ball Z as the 20th anniversary. That makes more sense.
What Super Saiyan level are they on now? Speaking of which,
I think once they got rid of Dragon Ball GT, the highest is 2, because GT brought. I'm pretty sure that was when.
I just remember
Go for it.
Oh, I just remember a friend of mine talking about how Goku had reached god levels of Super Saiyan. And I was like, wait a minute, I only remember Super Saiyan 3. What's going on here?
Yeah. I think if you get rid of Dragon Ball GT, he doesn't go Super Saiyan 3 then. He's only Super Saiyan 2. But then again, just looking at it, it looks like he fuses with Omega. Oh, okay, the power of Omega Shenron and Vegeta. Yeah, it's a super like convoluted.
Gogeta's still a thing in that one.
Yeah, that was where Gogeta was a thing.
Okay.
Dragon Ball Super, on the other hand, I honestly don't know, because I know he does go Super Saiyan God when they meet the
cat thing.
Yeah, Future Trunks. It's I mean, I'd have to watch it to kind of understand a little bit more, because I mean, at least thinking about what the creator said, or the guy that kind of went around it, GT never was a thing, or that part of it never really was a thing. So I don't know how much he actually like cares about that, or if that was, true to his, version of things. So if he says no, it's kind of like, that's kind of where you're going. It's the same thing where if you try to argue GIF and GIF, it's really just up to interpretation at that point. And then we've got, so we were talking about Pokemon, Dragon Ball Z. What was the third one that we mentioned? Naruto. Yeah, we talked about Naruto last week.
Oh man, Chad really enjoys Naruto.
I like Naruto.
I do too. I just haven't watched it in so long.
Yeah.
It's really hard to catch up. It's 580 less episodes than One Piece, so it's going to be a whole lot easier catching up if you even at full gallop, it'd take you, if you were to do like 5 episodes a day of One Piece,
you'd be going for a decent amount of time.
So long. So incredibly long. So I do want to talk about Cafe Anime a little bit. With everything that's going on, I am actually going to set up a small store full of coffee memorabilia. With the coffee mug that was actually created by Wheezy, we are going to be trying to create some sort of mug. It probably will not look exactly like the logo that he drew up, but we'll have mugs so the listeners can drink coffee with us. So we actually do have a few people who have already pre-ordered without money. So it's going to be a whole lot of fun. That is hashtag more to come. I am putting Wheezy's information in the description, so make sure you check him out, follow his work. I know he's got a Twitter, which is Eric the Animator, so you have to go follow him. Follow him now. Show him support. It's because we love him.
I'll be honest, I'm a little slow on the social media thing. My wife is learning me.
I got it.
I've put her as an editor on my website so she can help me out.
Yep, erictheanimator.com. She is your manager. We'll say that.
Yes. Let's call it that.
Manager.
Wife/manager. So I'm going to call it for this week. We had a great discussion about new anime. There's more anime to watch every week, so I'm super excited about that. Check the links in below, or just erictheanimator.com, or at erictheanimator to follow our lovely artist and friend of the show. Also, make sure you check us out on Twitter at The Dream Saga, which is actually the account that I had set up for my YouTube channel, which I also do a lot of Japanese candy, and I don't drink coffee on it, but I do Japanese candy and other treats that along that.
Pocky.
There's tons of Pocky, and just know that every Pocky I get goes to feed a hungry Jess.
I get to try some of it as well, so.
Yes. I try to send all of the snacks that I have to my animator's family, because that's how I pay him until everyone buys the mugs. I pay them in snacks, so they can't go anywhere because they're too full and tired from the sugar rush and the sugar coma that I put them in.
Yes, we got to keep them that way.
It's genius.
Yes. How do I get them to work harder? Make it so they can't leave the house.
I don't think my school would appreciate that.
All right. Thanks so much for listening this week. My name is Cody. I have my lovely guests, Jess, Eric, and Ethan. Hopefully they will be back next week.
They can't hear you wait.
And I will see you guys next time. Bye.
Bye.
Bye.